Often we talk about this opening round kind of being inconsequential sometimes because no one loses out. Of course you want to avoid the elimination round, but what we're learning now with some of the countback scenarios that can happen with the cut is that winning through in these opening rounds, he's surfing it. He's found another gear speed-wise. I mean, he's always been well-rounded, been incredibly exciting to watch, but the speed's been remarkable this year.
And in particular down at Bells, he was, looking very on point down there. Was pushing Ethan Ewing to the limit in terms of favoured surfer to take out the event. But have a look at this, just Ethan starting to rack up some scores early.
Ron, Sam, lovely surfing, mate.
Oh, thank you. It was a pretty slow heat for us. I mean, at start there was a couple waves, but then just got really slow. I knew at some point that would happen. Yeah, I mean, we were both in the same position last year, actually. He was a little bit under on the rankings, but we were both fighting for the same thing. And this year he's just doing, best as possible and, number one in the world. So it's cool to just be with him and see what's like to be there, kind of, just waking up with him every day. He's really fired up, and I think that helps me a lot too, to just do my job. And I think we have a good vibe. Mais uma, acho que o próximo round vai ser mais importante e é isso, vamos seguir.
Thank you, Sammy, well done.
Good on you, Stace. Yeah, Semi Pupo surfing incredibly well. Healthy heat score total for him. Out there in the lineup at the moment, Griffin Colapinto up against Nat Young and Reef Heazlewood, who got the call up as the highest rated surfer on the Griffin again. Just sort of finding space out in this lineup and sort of taking the early edge here over his rivals, Rich.
Oh, savage series of roundhouse cutbacks. The first one just looked completely connected. Griff all the way through to the inside. No problem with the finish. Love the water angle here. You'll really see the tilt on the surfboard as he gets it on rail. And again, just driving through it. The power of this kid is just unbelievable at the moment. Watch this, just powers up here. Stays nice and low. The knees just holding and the thighs holding all that power. Gets really compressed. Now watch the eyes, back to the target, straight up to that spot where he's going to just place the board again. And brilliant surfing here. When I think of the strength that Nat Young brings, we'll get back to that point.
We're going to see Reef Heazlewood up at the moment. One of the replacement surfers in the draw, does well to hang on to this one. Reef, obviously one of the best aerialists on the planet, a 23-year-old from the Sunshine Coast of Queensland.
Yeah, he does, and he gets a couple of big moves here. So comes around the section, clips the lip, kind of drifts up and over and did well. That lip was coming really late, and Reef had to put it right up there, but kind of a two-stage bottom turn, pumps off the top. He did well to project out on that first turn, allowed him to get down the line. So watch this, he projects up and over the lip here. Reconnects with the face and then has to get straight on that heel side rail again. Super compressed when he got to the lip, so almost going by feel for that last minute.
In his desperation, juiced a pretty good number out of that ride, but I wouldn't call it spot on timing. It was just critical surfing.
Yep, absolutely. Here we go. Now,
let's see what he can do. The surfer from Santa Cruz.
Oh, yes.
Great timing. Get some release in that tail. And Nat has that ability. Obviously grew up surfing a right-hander, which definitely has some funky characteristics and tricky sections that you got to figure out at Steamer Lane there. So Nat, he's going to get himself back into the mix. He needs a big result here to shore up a place above the cut line.
Of his board placement and just how critical he gets. That first turn was just so pretty to watch. Nat just right up in the pocket. The second one kind of carves it out a little bit more, patiently waits for that third turn, puts some sizzle on the final tail release, and a great three-turn combination. Love how square he gets to the lip there and then gets the tail release all the way around. Look how compressed he is over his front foot. Swings the board back around, straight back into the bottom turn. Sort of drags that second turn out a little bit more. Really tap in.
Something standing up on the outside here for Colapinto, looking to get rid of a 4.67. Whips out through the open face to get started. Bangs it through the pocket. That wave kind of bottoms out, but he does well to generate some speed. Is where you can get the full rundown and keep up to date on who's going to be challenging for Olympic glory as we get back to the lineup here. Griffin Colapinto has the lead. His last couple of rides have been pretty solid, 7.17, 6.5.
Sometimes you can get sort of stuck in a bad losing rut where you're really not getting out of the first few rounds.
Or others have found it even harder to get through heat. Let's talk about that a little bit, because your ride really starts. We'll get back to that in a moment, as Reef looks to chase down that second spot at the moment. Again, he's kind of chasing the sections, but on this occasion he doesn't really climb up on top of them, so I don't see him turning in the 4.59 required here.
Take off in the right spot, or you have to be wary of taking off at the right spot. Exciting first turn, no doubt, but this second turn here didn't really climb up and over the...
And this is what we were touching on before. You really want to get yourself on the apex of this peak, or like Rich said, just behind it to set up that first move. And even Nat, he sort of takes a straighter approach on the takeoff to get that first turn in. Moving a lot of water on that second move, but not really the ride that he's looking for to solidify second position at the moment.
His approach, he's flaring up on some of these things. Even the backhand hooks have got variety within what he's doing.
Yeah, I think it's pretty natural early on in a surfer's career too.
Great.
And yeah, look at him. It's easy decision to take this one. Just a beautiful looking ride. Paces it off the bottom. Great timing on that first turn, but just catches an out. Nat Young's going to get an opportunity here to dump that 4.83 and post a bigger requirement for Reef Heazlewood. Couple of nice turns. This wave starting to bottom out.
Quite smooth from here. Does really well to get that first turn in. Now these bottom turn, top turn combinations with all that foam on the face is difficult. You can see there Nat just keeping the pressure on the tail of the board.
The Goofy's got a union meeting over here, Kipes.
I don't know. Here we go. Another Goofy. Reef Heazlewood attacks the lip, Ron.
Yeah, he's after a number here, a pretty decent one now, because Nat Young dropped a 6.23 in his last ride. And Reef's now after a 5.99, sizing up a solid hit on the inside here, a smaller ride there. And the Ollie's not going to help his cause. That's a smaller ride too, but at this point he didn't really have any choice.
Yeah, just a bit late on that one. When you really think about the way this heat played out, mentally in my mind, I feel like the two surfers that deserve to get through got through this heat. So Griff out front.
Colapinto looking solid once again in the opening rounds. Getting the victory. Nat Young not too far behind. We'll see Reef in the elimination round.